There is one thing that will make the biggest difference in your playing, a critical thing that was true to all of our heroes and will really help you as well. Playing with more experienced professional musicians, which is why I'm beyond excited to announce a brand new series, an ongoing monthly installment of the Sononaut Jazz Laboratory, complete with full downloadable play-alongs in high fidelity. So in the link below, you'll find a download to all the goodies, the lead sheet, the sheet music, the high-fidelity backing track recorded at 211 Studios, where you actually get to play along with the Sononauts, my rhythm section, many of the graduates and students at the Miles Davis Jazz Studies program. Absolutely fantastic musicians that playing along with them, and who I'm sitting next to, is going to make you a better player. Now, this month's tune is called Meddling Kids.
And it would have been mine if it hadn't been for those meddling kids.
So we just released this single, Meddling Kids, written by our own Angel McCrae, inspiring young tenor saxophonist that you'll hear on this recording. So this is a contrafact. Angel wrote this tune. It is a new composition over an existing set of chord changes. A contrafact is incredibly common. It's ubiquitous in the jazz history. For instance, Donna Lee is a contrafact over Indiana. Olio is a contrafact over I Got Rhythm, as are many, many other jazz standards. So in learning this tune, you're also learning the chord changes that we'll be soloing over in future weeks of the tune Softly as in a Morning Sunrise. These chord changes, the same key, is the basis for this new contrafact. Now, if you'd like to say a very quick thank you to the Sonists getting together, they're unbelievably excited to get these educational materials in your hand for free. Just give them a listen on Spotify. A lot of work has gone into creating this, so if you just listen to the full tune, solos and all, on Spotify or your favorite streaming software, sure would mean a lot to us. Now, two huge concepts we're going to be diving into in this week's lesson are rhythm and articulation. Together, they go hand in hand. One actually influences and informs the other. Your rhythm and your articulation kind of come together with how we call style. And there's really no other way to get to the heart of that other than playing along with experienced musicians. Written and oral instructions will not get there. Believe me, I've tried, and some of my well-meaning former teachers, long before I got to the Miles Davis Jazz Studies program, tried. But playing along with your heroes is going to help. So let's dive in and learn this head together. So let's listen to the tune we're going to be playing. I've got the alto and tenor parts so you can play along, read along. Let's take a listen.
And it would have been mine if it hadn't been for those meddling kids.
So let's start working on rhythm. What we're going to do is just take the very first phrase, take a look at it, and we're going to simply subdivide. We're going to introduce our body, our voice, and our inherent self-created rhythm as we start to develop a sense of rhythm and subdivision. So what we're going to do at first is just get a nice relaxed tempo, and we're going to subdivide with just a neutral syllable, almost a scat syllable, with our mouth. So at a tempo di lerno, let's repeat after me. Dooba 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 dooba. Try it. Snap with me. Dooba 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 dooba. We're working on that heartbeat of jazz. One more time. Dooba 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 dooba. You try it. Snap along with me. It's fun. A dooba 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 dooba. That's a very important skill. Also, just tapping your foot on 2 and 4 while listening to great records, we'll talk more about this in the coming weeks as well, is one of the best things you can do with your playing. Just simply tapping your foot with the legendary drummers on 2 and 4. Listen for that hi-hat. It's going to do wonders for your time feel. Now, next step, we're going to count the actual rhythm. If you don't know the 1 and 2 and or 1E and to 2 and counting method, there are lots of videos out there. We're going to skip over, assume you know that, and then what we're going to do is actually count the rhythm here. Again, create that sense of internal rhythm, and we're going to count the actual rhythms on the page. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and again. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Try it again. Try to feel the accents as we're going along too. If you want to move your body a little bit, that's not a bad thing to do. 2, let's count again. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Do that several times. If you need to slow it down as you're learning the 1 and 2 and counting methods, that is highly valuable. And full disclosure, I didn't learn the counting method until I was doing my student teaching, and I had to teach a room full of high school students how to play a piece of music. And it wasn't going well because my intuitive way of reading music and just listening to the records didn't teach them how to do it. So I had to learn this counting method, and having them vocalize, which brings a physicality into the rhythm, is a very important thing. Then you might try counting the rhythm while fingering along on your instrument. Now, beyond that, we have what I call a macro rhythm, or the dance rhythm that overlays this. So we have the steady beat that's provided by our bass player and our drummer. Then we have the actual rhythm written here. Then we also have a larger macro rhythm, the dance, the syncopation that pushes and pulls against the steady beat. And here's where I think rhythmic development is best learned playing with other people. I'm not big into metronome games where you put the metronome on slowly and then you try to play 3 bars and the metronome only clicks once every other beat. I have people keeping a steady beat. They're called the rhythm section. I pay them good money. So they keep the steady beat. It's how we push and pull against that beat and how we accent that macro rhythm, that dance rhythm on top of the steady beat makes all the difference. So we're going to play along. But first, let's take a look at the macro rhythm of this opening phrase. So we're just going to first say the macro rhythm here. So I'll get a pulse going slowly and 4 at first. Here we go. 2, ready, and bop, 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 ba-dop, bop. Pretty easy. Then see if you can do it with snapping on 2 and 4. That, 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 ba-dap, bop, 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 ba-dap, bop. Now, put on the recording. I love looping software. What a amazing thing we have here in the 21st century. I like Transcribe Plus, Amazing Slow Downer is fine, AnyTune. There's lots of good software. I don't care which one you use. Just download, put the phrase in a loop, and listen to it. Now, you'll notice there's nary an articulation marked, or just a little bit marked over a couple of the quarter notes. So when Angel wrote this tune, she sent it to me, the rhythm section got it, we got together for a rehearsal, we just played it. And sure enough, even with no articulation marked, Angel and I were pretty much articulating the exact same way and blended pretty well right off the bat. Why? Because for us, it's intuitive from years and years, me more years than her, even though she does it better because I'm much older, of playing along and listening to the recordings. It becomes intuitive. Now, the only reason there's a couple little markings over the quarter notes is because there are multiple interpretations of how you could play those 2 quarter notes that would be viable and in the tradition. So just to make it so we could get together and sight read it, she marked in exactly what she wanted, and it just happened really the first time we played it. But how do you get to the point where it's intuitive? You can just see a long string of 8th notes, a lot of different shapes, and just know when and how to tongue. You cannot think of a formula. You can't think slur every other one, or groupings of 2, tonguing the offbeat, slurring to the downbeat, except when there's groupings of 3, or when it changes. You just can't think like that. It has to become intuitive. So how does it become intuitive? Well, playing along, and then this great thing we have in the 21st century is software to slow it down. So let's take the final phrase here that has some interesting rhythms and articulation and listen to it once and hear where we're tonguing and ghosting and so on and so forth. Got it? Easy peasy. Can you tell what we're tonguing? All right, let's slow it down a little bit. Okay, let's be real. This is how much I would slow it down when I was learning. So here's the trick. It's not 100% clear exactly where the tongue is lining up to make it into written instructions. You cannot, please, bring it in. You cannot learn articulation by looking at a sheet with slurs, lines, and dots. They're symbols representing something. If you go to the pub or the bar or whatever you call it in your neck of the woods and you need to use the facilities, you go look at the door and there's a silhouette of a man or a silhouette of a dress-shaped thing. That's not an actual woman. That's not an actual man. They're just representations giving instructions. Articulation markings are the same way. Now, in my own teaching, I teach with etudes with very explicit markings for reading skills and to more clearly give explanation. But the actual style and getting it, nothing substitutes for playing along. There's so much information in the sound, the oral tradition, that cannot be explained with written or verbal instructions and certainly not marked on a page. The markings on the page, those are a reminder for what you already know and are hearing. If you don't already know it and aren't already hearing it, the reminder is not going to do much for you. It's a painful lesson, but if you turn it around and view it as this amazing lifelong study we get to enjoy, what a gift. So I can tell you, again, I used to slow down Art Pepper. The reason I keep holding up this particular record is, number one, I love Art Pepper, but two, his recording of Softly as in a Morning Sunrise, we're going to be using as we learn to improvise and continue on with this Sononaut learning module. But I would slow down, and there's times where and you're like, well, what marking gets a well, it's just one of those things. Your body will figure out the way. You just have to trust. If I can learn it, believe me, you can too. Now, I hope you've enjoyed playing along with this. I hope you enjoyed learning this. Please do go to Spotify, your favorite, that's the word I was looking for, streaming source, and have a listen. And listen to Angel McCrae's fantastic tenor solo on this if you want to get a really good idea of style and feel that you'll be enjoying in the coming months. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I will see you next week when we start to dive in and learn to improvise over this set of chord changes. Thanks so much for watching and listening and playing along with us. Go practice.